Nuno Bettencourt is probably the most awesome rock guitar player of all time. But how can we get our solos to sound like his? In this video, I will reveal his secret soloing techniques so that you can steal them for your own playing. I'll show you how to get his speed and precision with a practice system that has worked for me and will probably work for you too. And I'll show you how he mixes melody and chord tones into his shredding so that even people who don't like guitar solos love listening to him play. As always, there will be tabs and diagrams to make everything as easy as possible. Did you ever hear this lick from the start of the Play With Me solo? And thought, man, I want to play that. How the hell does he do that? I remember trying to play this part of the solo with pure alternate picking like this. This is actually a great exercise for alternate picking, but it is not how the lick is actually played in the solo. Because more recently I discovered Nuno uses a special technique to play this part, which not only sounds more dynamic, but it's about 100 times easier to play. So I'll slow this right down so you can see exactly what's going on. So essentially the pattern goes hammer, pull off, pick, pick. Hammer, pull off, pick, pick. Hammer, pull off, pick, pick, and so on. You can palm mute it slightly to get a bit more of that percussive sound. And then of course you move that fretted note around. So let's use an exercise to fully master this technique. By the way, as always, backing tracks and tabs are free, link in the description. So that's all good and well, but how the hell does he play this arpeggio part later in the same solo? Well, it's actually not what it sounds like. When we hear arpeggios, our mind tends to go towards sweep picking. But this part is actually played with string skipping, like this. A little bit slower, that would sound like this. To make this much easier to play and learn, but also much easier for us to steal for our own solos, I've applied this exact technique to the E minor pentatonic scale, which sounds a little bit like this. Let's break this right down. Here's the pentatonic box that we all know and love, and I like to think of this pattern as 4 groups of 3, like this. Pick, pull off, pick, 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 pull off, pick, pull off, hammer, pick, pick, pick. So the whole thing nice and slow goes like this. And what's great about this is it works exactly the same in the same key if we just move everything down one string like this. Now in the intro I said this. I'll show you how to get his speed and precision with a practice system, and I'm going to show you that practice system now. My favorite system for building speed is burst speed practice, and I'm going to show exactly how that relates to this string skipping part. Once we have this pattern memorized at a slow speed, we'll start to take those small chunks again that we used to memorize it in the first place and build speed into those separately. Build speed into that, and then take the next bunch of notes. It's important to stop each time. So follow along with this exercise and you will be amazed at how quickly you can get this lick up to tempo. There's an even more insane shred lick by Nuno Bettencourt, which 99% of guitar players, including me, were playing wrong for years. And it is 10 times easier than it sounds. Well, maybe 3 times easier than it sounds. It is still pretty tricky, at least at first. But when I first tried to learn this solo, YouTube barely existed, and all I had to go on was horrible tabs on websites like this. So as a result, I thought that this lick was played like this, across 2 strings, using only the left hand. This is horrendous. But more recently, I watched some live footage of Nuno Bettencourt playing this, and I was shocked to find that I had been playing it completely wrong. Why do I make it so hard for myself? So to do this the right way, we hold the pedal tone with the middle finger of our right hand. It's really important also to try to mute the other strings as much as you can with the same finger. I'm going to try to move my arms so that both my cameras can see what I'm doing here. And then we basically play this pattern. Hammer, pull off, hammer, 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 pull off, pull off, pull off. Okay? When I did this, the 2 things that were the most challenging for me was getting clean pull-offs with the first finger, because my first finger, normally when I'm doing legato, my other 3 fingers are doing a lot more pull-offs. This first finger isn't as accustomed to the pull-offs, so I spent a little bit of time just trilling. And the other thing is getting this finger in and out of that position, so I would just practice the... However you're getting your finger there, whichever bunch of notes you're playing as you get your finger into the pedal tone position, you can isolate and practice that as well, because that can be kind of a limiting step. So in the exercise that follows, I've put it in E minor, so it's going to fit with everything else we're going to do, and we can more easily steal it for our own solos. And we're going to start with some slower note divisions to help get this pattern under our fingers, and then slowly move it up. This last lick is without a doubt Nuno Bettencourt's most awesome lick ever, or at least it's definitely one of my favourite shred licks of all time. It can be heard on Get the Funk Out and He-Man Woman Hater solos. In the intro, I also said, I'll show you how he mixes melody and chord tones into his shredding. Well, this lick is made almost entirely of chord tones, and that is how I'm going to teach it to you. So here's the lick nice and slow, outlining a G major chord. Now you should already know these 2 bar chords. Okay, this is the E major shape bar chord and the A major shape bar chord. And here I am using the E shape to play in a G, and then the A shape to play a G. So in yellow on our diagram here, we see these 2 bar chords. If you don't know these bar chords, get to know them. And then in red, we have all of the notes that we're going to use while playing this lick. And you'll see that there's pretty much all just chord tones. And if you think about where you would play a bar chord, you can use that to play this lick and outline any chord that you need. It becomes a lot easier to know exactly which chord you're outlining. But the lick itself is still quite tricky, so let's break it right down. So ascending, we play 3 groups of 3, okay? And it goes tap, pull off, hammer, okay? Tap, pull off, hammer, and then that happens 3 more times on each string. Tap, pull off, hammer, tap, pull off, hammer. Tap, pull off, hammer, tap, pull off, hammer, tap, pull off, hammer. And so that's 9 notes in total. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ascending. And then coming down, we're going to tap, pull off, then hammer from nowhere. Tap, pull off, hammer. Tap, pull off, hammer. And that happens twice, because the hammer from nowhere changes down 1 string. So, tap, pull off, hammer, tap, pull off, hammer. Okay? So then that's 8 notes in total down. So 9 up and 8 down. Then we can move everything up 2 frets to play an A, like this. In this exercise, we're going to use a progression for you to fully master this lick. So I took all the Nuno Bettencourt style licks that we've covered in this video, stole a few more, and threw them into this final Nuno Bettencourt style solo. As I said, tabs and backing tracks for everything, including this solo, is free, link in the description. Nuno Bettencourt techniques are awesome, but we don't ever want to steal from just one guitarist. We want to steal from multiple masters to create our own style. And who better to take from in 2024 than this guy? Possibly the sickest new player this decade. Click this video next to find out who he is, learn his techniques, and take your playing to the next level.